When was the last time that you went on a slip and slide? You know, that yellow piece of plastic that you used to lay down in the grass and connect the hose to on a hot summer day. And you had this idea in your head when you were a kid that this thing was going to just rip you across the backyard and you're going to fly and then you're going to get dumped out on the other side. When in reality, what would happen is you would run up to this thing and go, and a lot of times just get stuck and hit hard. And it didn't feel very good. And a lot of times if there was bumps in your yard, you would get sticks and bumps and grass and you'd end up bruised and you're scooting yourself forward to the end of the slip and slide. Well, that is the energy right now. It's giving backyard slip and slide where we are expecting this woo kind of ride, except we're getting this kind of makeshift water slide that's kind of kicking our asses in the backyard type of energy. All right, that's what we're going to kind of be dealing with a little bit, but it's still fun. You can still work with this energy. All right, we'll talk about this in a second. And I want to just say, we're going to be moving into, as we kind of slip into July through August, we're going to be taking it from the backyard slip and slide and moving it to that fast as hell ride at the water park. So we're going to get there. We're going to put Dawn all over that thing, and we're going to be flying in just a little bit. So your time is coming. So hold on a little bit. Let's work with the backyard slip and slide. So let's first dive into what this backyard slip and slide energy is giving. So let's do our astro report for this week. And I took some notes, of course, to keep me on point so my little ADD brain doesn't go flip and fly. So the first thing that we're doing that we did last weekend, we went through summer solstice, right? We're still kind of in that energy. It's the energy of illumination. We're bringing light and focus and concentration and aha moments. And we're using that light to move us through and kind of this Cancerian energy. We just moved into Cancer season. So happy birthday to all of my Cancerian people out there. Cancer is ruled by the moon. So we're kind of bringing this sun energy and merging with this moon energy in Cancer, which is bringing us to a space of balance. And a big thing, we just had last week Chiron, which is the wounded healer. It's the planet of the wounded healer, move into Taurus, which is that grounded, founded, kind of stable structure, love of life type of energy. Now, Chiron has been in Aries since 2018, which is big deal. So think about wounded healer, all of our wounds on fire, lighten it up, giving us stressed out energy. Well, it just moved into Taurus, right? And it's going to be in Taurus until 2033, which is a really big deal. And it does do some retrograding, during that time. It'll dance a little bit, but until 2033. Now, Chiron highlights our deepest wounds, our insecurities, where we feel spaces of pain, vulnerability, where our most healing spaces occur, right? And it's going to expose all of those places. You may feel super triggered in so many of those ways, right? Kind of digs. It's just picking at a scab, that type of thing. But it's meant to transform, right? It's going to expose where our weakest, most vulnerable self is that needs transformation. It's going to move us into a space where we're going to feel strong and powerful and rebirth ourselves in new ways. So Taurus is all about self-worth, right? We're going to learn lessons about financial security and abundance. We're going to be triggered where we have like a fear of loss, where we are attached to certain things. We're going to be triggered where we don't trust ourselves, right? And where we have attachments to people, places, things, all of those things, right? Now, this is going to hit the fixed signs. So Aquarius, Leo, Taurus, and Scorpio the most. So not only those sun signs, but if you have placements in those signs, and also you can check out where those signs are in your birth chart, what house they're in, and then you can kind of pick apart, what themes are going to be present for you over these next several years. But we're going to come out of this space feeling more secure, feeling more stable, knowing how to really provide a sense of abundance, having a new sense of self-worth, right? So this transit through Taurus, Chiron through Taurus, is going to provide a better, more stable, rounded, balanced foundation that you can really set your energy on as you birth yourself forward, right? When all these other planets like Uranus and Pluto and all this stuff are like really helping us birth new selves and our new contributions to this world. Well, of course, we're going to throw Chiron into the mix, kind of picking at the scab, exposing wounds and all of that stuff to expose where our foundations are cracking, where we need to build new foundations of home and values and self-worth and all of that stuff, right? And reprogram that. Chiron isn't here to hurt. It's here to help. It's here to kind of crack open those spaces so we can redefine ourselves in a new, stronger way. Okay. Now we also, like I said, we dropped into Cancer season as well this weekend. Okay. And Cancer season is all about home, like welcome home, everybody, welcome home. So this is coming into yourself and like, where do you feel like home? What makes you feel like home? Who, what activities makes you feel like home? Cancer is a very water sign. So this is using your intuition. This is, going back to what feels good. This is getting all feely and like gushy mushy. It's slowing down a little bit. So it's like coming back to yourself before we move into Leo season, which is next. And next week we have a Mercury retrograde. So this is going to be reviewing what feels like home. Sometimes old emotions might come up. We'll talk about that more next week. And we also next week have Jupiter moving into Leo, which is like, yeah, that's the water side. Like, that's where that's the dish soap, the Dawn that goes on the slip and slide, like speed stuff up. So that's what this is. And some of you may be feeling like little timeline goopy whoopies. I felt like in that summer solstice portal, and I don't know, drop a comment if you felt this too, but literally Sunday, I felt like I was like losing time and then time would super warp speed up. So it was like half the day went by and I was like, what just happened? And then it slowed down. So I feel like we're in this really weird time warp, which kind of like my last video, like the Willy Wonka kind of touched on too. But drop in the comments if you're feeling that too. And that kind of gives water slide too. It's like we're moving down these water slides, kind of like sometimes crawling and sometimes going so super fast, right? But in Cancer season, our theme is going to come back to ourselves. This week, we're really illuminating, using that summer solstice energy, that sun to illuminate. And I love the sun back there. Do you feel that? Illuminating where in our self-worth, our own personal internal foundations, as well as our external foundations, do we need to shift, right? We might be getting some of that information. And how can we use our emotions via Cancer season to come back home in balance within ourselves? Okay, so let's do our card readings. So let's see. Spirit, please tell us for the collective, what do we need to know? What do we need to hear? What will help support us during this week with our Chiron, with summer solstice energy? Okay, these two want to come out. Moving into Cancer season. Okay, so the first two, So we talked about Chiron is that wounded healer, right? And the first card we got here is number 4, which is foundations. It's building new foundations. It's building new structures and stability. It is the bear spirit, and it's the card of healing. So yes, Cancer season, come home to yourself, get all grounded. And what do bears do? They hibernate. And so you might find yourself wanting to hibernate, wanting to shell up, right? Cancer is like that crab, and like wanting to kind of wrap a blanket around you and like slow down for a minute, go into your cave. Winter is a time to cave. And it's crazy because it's summer, like the sun, yay, things, and we're super busy. But maybe for a moment, maybe during this Cancer season, especially as Chiron starts to move into Taurus, which is more of like a slower, like savor the flavor type of sign, like we're finding our stability by caving. We're finding our stability by moving a little bit slower. We're finding our stability by allowing us to take a breath so that healing can occur. I love that. And our second theme card for today is number 12, which is the number 3, sacred expansion. It's the dragonfly spirit. I love that. It's a beautiful animal of transformation and hope and rebirth. Yes. And it's the theme of change. You're changing. Dragonflies are huge metamorphical spirit animals, right? So they start in this pond, right? They grow from the mud, just like the lotus flowers, as we see on this card too. They grow from the mud and they expand, and they choose, right? They choose to grow, and they get this like a little larva, kind of like a butterfly, right? A cocoon, and they move and they spread their wings and they fly above this lotus flower and open up to this reflective light, this sun. They choose to step into the light. So you're changing, you're going through a metamorphosis, you are transforming, you are spreading your wings, but you're doing so in a healing season right now. And that is inspired by Chiron and Taurus. That is inspired, and you're being supported to kind of root in, come back home to yourself a little bit. It's okay to take it easy. It's okay to start off on the slip and slide in the backyard, right? Before we go and jump on the water park slide. It's okay to take a minute, because you might have some like little pieces of earth under your slip and slide come up, right? And like poke you and stuff. So take it easy, take it slow, enjoy the ride right now. Okay. Savor the flavor. So we're going to drop into our tarot cards. So Spirit, please tell us, what do we need to know? What do we need to hear? And if you have not liked and subscribed, please do so. So much. So we are growing our channel. Thank you to everyone who is, subscribing and sharing and commenting. It really helps us do that. There's a lot of gold nuggets, and it's channeled right from Spirit. So I'm here to just kind of help guide you through what you need to know and what you need to hear. All right. So the cards that we got today. Okay. Okay, we're talking about self-worth. We're talking about the wounded healer. We're talking about self-worth. We're talking about foundations, and we're talking about reviewing all of that. Okay. It's more of a challenging spread, not the worst, but it is more of a challenging spread. So first we get the 5 of Swords, and 5 is change via conflict, confusion, chaos, challenge, all of that stuff. And here the swords are very mind games, over analytical thinking. And here we see, people have their backs turned, and we take in our swords, and we're kind of, moving a different way. So this can mean like 2 things. So you might have some people that are around you that don't need to be there. So like maybe they, give you a lot of like really great, really great words, but like their actions don't back things up, right? So like sneaky, shady, stealing behavior, that type of thing. Energy vamps, like identify who and what doesn't belong in your home, in that space, right? Your home space, in your energetic space, and take your shit and move along, right? Like we're packing up our swords, we're seeing who is not for us, and we're like, no, we're going to change. So sometimes that may spur and trigger us in certain ways. But like, remember, we are growing, we are healing, and it's okay to kind of like come back into yourself in that way, while you're working through transforming your inner and outer world. And yeah, sometimes it may hurt, right? Sometimes it may hurt. And, that's okay. Pull that energetic blanket around yourself, ground down. And it's like, who and what deserves to be in your home? It's time to set some boundaries and implement that space. Okay, so the next card we get here is Two of Pentacles in reverse. So something is out of balance, right? In the upright position, we're needing to bring things into balance because there's like, you know, big waves in there and everything in the background. So it's about bringing things into balance. So again, like we're talking about, like who and what is in your environment? Where do you need healing, right? In order to transform here. And so like, what do you need to bring back into balance to support this healing journey that you're on? Identify it, write it down. I'm a huge fan of journaling and observing, right? Putting on our ultimate observer hat, putting on your scientist hat and being like, who and what in my world, and maybe you're feeling this emotionally because we're in Cancer season, but who and what in my world makes me feel restricted, makes me feel like, I don't really like that energy. Well, freaking chart it down, right? Like jot it down so that you can see where these patterns are, who they are, what they are. And maybe they're internal. Maybe it's your own fears. Maybe it's your own attachments. But I'm a huge fan of being the scientist and being curious of your own life and really charting down, right? Like who and what and all the things so that you can see patterns so that then you can take action on that, right? To balance out that energy. The next card is reminding us it is the Three of Pentacles. And it's reminding us that like you are worth something. You are worthy. You know, your talents you need to be paid, babe. You need to be paid. So like, where are you giving more of yourself and taking less in return? Whether that's in relationships, whether that's in jobs, whether that's in services. So we need to connect to what you're like really good at, you know, like what makes your heart sing, what makes your heart shine, and then get paid for it and be like, no, I am worth more than that. And I'm not going to take second best. I'm not going to take good enough. This is me getting paid for my work. Like I am commissioning you to create a masterpiece and I'm gonna get paid for it. And maybe it's through abundance. Maybe it's through just energetic exchange, but it needs to be an equal exchange and you need to get paid. So this is you being like, what is out of balance, right? What needs healing? And how can you transform certain things in yourself in order to step into your own power in a much more potent way where you're like, no, that's not fair. Pay up, right? And yeah, because you deserve it. You deserve it. So again, that Chiron and Taurus, we're reviewing our self-worth and abundance and all of that stuff. Maybe lack mentality. We're bringing that into balance and we're saying, hey, pay up, because I am worth it. You are worth it. Because what's happening, it's the 10 of Wands right now. You're carrying a burden that is way too heavy for you. You need to put something down. Things need to change. If you continue to carry, and yeah, you're not going to give up. So there's this fighting spirit, this, sassy, fighting, fiery spirit. You're not going to give up, but you're breaking your back doing it. So it's like, where are you pushing and forcing things to happen? Where are you carrying too much? Where you need to set some boundaries, maybe pulling in your energy, caving a little bit, using the Cancerian wintry energy to kind of that moon space, right? To like pull in so you're not super exposed to everything having to shoulder. Maybe you need to set boundaries. Maybe you need to advocate for yourself, right? Maybe you need to hand some of these wands off to other people and be like, you go do that. That's your responsibility, right? I'm going to use my voice and bring things into balance. And I know my worth and I'm going to ask for what I am worth. I'm going to set the rules. I'm going to set the new foundation. I'm going to set some new structure here because I am changing. I am a work in process. I am spreading my wings. I am healing. I am redoing my home. I'm reorganizing. I'm restructuring. I'm rebirthing my home space, right? And I'm taking back my power and calling out these haters and these fake people and these energy vamps. And I'm going to say no more. I'm going to say no more. And you know what? We're going to pull one more card. What do we need to see as far as like final outcome? Like, tell us what we need to know here to wrap up this reading here. Oh, yes. Okay. Yay. Okay. And it is number 7, which is truth. Stand in your motherfucking truth. It is the spirit of bluebird. It's the bluebird spirit, and it's the card of happiness. And I see a little unicorn down here, right? So like, get magic with it, get funky with it, get weird with it. Like, do whatever you need to do to find your happiness, find your truth, okay? Ask for what you're worth, right? Balance out the things. Call people out on their ish. Stop carrying everything that is so heavy. You're in a healing time right now. You're in a transformational time, and your outcome is happiness, right? But you have to stand in your truth and sing your beautiful song. You have a song that is uniquely just for you. So be bold, be brave, and sing your song, okay? Because you're worth it. All right, friends, this is your reading. I am wishing you lots of love and blessings. Take care.